To be clear, the accusation that I sexually someone is completely false. And I feel disgusted that I even have to say that. The actual reality of the situation appears to be the result of what I believe to be a hit piece. It seems that KP and a Bernie fandom were working together to push this story, and I have evidence to prove that. Bernie fandom has on multiple occasions used falsifiable information to attack people with. I'm not the only one who has been affected by these malicious allegations.
Do you guys believe that Saberspark is innocent? Good evening, everyone. After nearly 2 weeks, Saberspark has come off the woodworks to drop his response on the allegations, and he essentially said that they're false. They're completely false. I guess there was never a girl with him in 2012 or 2013. And you know what? I believe him. In his response video, he broke down how the two apostles for the story cannot be trusted, with I Love Kim Possible a lot being biased against him, and Bernie fandom being a nutcase that falsifies evidence. And the reason why I say I believe Saberspark is because for this whole drama, there was never any proof of the incident, and later on, you see KP admit that she never saw any evidence herself, even though she propagated the allegation. Now, before I start my reaction to this, I'd have to admit that I was being a bit slow and dumb, because I was expecting for him to explain how it was consensual, but he decided to clarify in the beginning that it just simply never happened at all. So in this reaction, please ignore me when I'm expecting a full breakdown, because you don't really need one if the story was false in the very first place.
Hello, I'm Stephen Carver, and I go by the name of Saberspark on YouTube. For the sake of transparency, I will be on camera for this video. I also have some notes over here I will be referencing for this response. Now, some of you may have seen the recent 2-hour video by the YouTuber I Live Kim Possible.
Oh, no, are you kidding me? You're preempting that with these allegations with, sorry, just one allegation, with that video? That one sucked. I say that because if I were him, I would start being like, hey, you guys might have seen that Twitter account, Bernie fandom, making allegations, but by, starting with Kim Possible, everyone knows that her video was dog shit. I think that video was way more on DA Games than it was on you.
Lots. Putting aside what it was, which we'll talk about here in a moment, this video...
Oh my god, he's gonna make fun of it and how dog shit it was.
Video included her making some significant and sweeping accusations involving me. Most of the comments I saw on the original upload indicated...
I was gonna make a prediction. I want to predict that he's gonna stand on it and make a small apology, but not completely concede to people call him, all the awful stuff, right? He better not, bend the knee to that.
That many people saw this video for what it was.
I was gonna say, very nice One Punch Man fucking cover art. Sorry, that's very nice.
Chasing. And it threw out very severe allegations in a really callous and reckless way. I appreciate that people out there are willing to question such things, and more importantly, share my sentiment that this is not the way things should be done. What was said was untrue. And it's disappointing to see people try to build themselves up.
Okay, so he's taking the angle that what was alleged by Bernie fandom's alleged victim, it didn't happen. Okay.
By tearing others down. With that in mind, this is my response to recent allegations against me from the Twitter account Bernie fandom and the YouTuber I Love Kim Possible a lot. Before I begin, I want to give a content warning for the following things on screen. Folks, this is a very serious video, so please continue watching it at your own discretion.
Okay, that's bizarre. He said sexual assault, so is he gonna concede that, it was violent then, oh boy?
To be clear, the accusation that I sexually assaulted someone is completely false. And
there we go. That's what I predicted. I was worrying for a second, the intro, that he was going to concede to it, but no, he stands on it. I think this video will be him showing proof that it was completely consensual and how close he was with the victim. Also, I want to see if who the victim was, if he does expose them. It might be Emmy Jones, but if you guys know the allegation, the proof that it was Emmy Jones, it's not very concrete. So I want to know who it was actually, if he does expose who the girl was.
Disgusted that I even have to say that. I've had sexual partners before in the past, but we have always abided by enthusiastic and reciprocated consent. The actual reality of the situation appears to be the result of what I believe to be a hit piece. From what I've seen, it seems that KP and a person by the username of Bernie fandom were working together to push this story, and I have evidence to prove that. But more than that, what KP's video actually does is extremely dangerous. It hurts those who are truly victims out there.
It's dangerous because It's not funny. But you
This
said
is
that.
not how you do things when it comes to people's lives. The following section will be about I Love
Now, the worrying thing about this, right, is that from what I understood was that the video wasn't that bad when it came to the DA game section. Like, he has some criticisms to be made of, but like by him going after that video, it leaves it very open it leaves it open for people being like, oh, so you defend DA games and this shitty Discord. I think the best angle would be like, just go after Brony Fandont and the alleged victim. By going after Kim Possible, I love Kim Possible a lot, you're leaving a lot of like, holes for people to go after you from.
Impossible a lot, my history with her, and what appears to be her attempt to falsely accuse me for her own gain.
In his defense, I think Brony Fandont and Kim Possible, they were actually both working together. Like, it started with Brony Fandont, but they were being like, guys, look, KP's gonna make a new video pretty soon, go check it out. So they definitely were in collaboration.
To make it easy, I will be referring to her as KP for the remainder of this video. I met KP in 2014. We lived in the same state and eventually became friends. This was mainly because we
so I was going to say 2012, but that's not when the allegations happened.
shared common interest, as we were both part of the Brony fandom and were both YouTubers as well. She came to me asking for advice on her videos and connections to go to conventions. At the end of 2014, I started a new job and entered a new relationship with someone. For the next 5 months, I was extremely busy. KP would occasionally reach out to me, but I did not have time to hang with her. It was
This is a very weird direction. I was always going to start by being like, what happened in 2012 and 2013. But he's jumping like a year ahead by going after KP in 2014. I'll see where it goes, actually.
nothing personal, and we naturally drifted apart. 8 years passed, and in August of 2023, a friend of mine messaged me on KP's behalf. He told me that according to KP, one of the editors on my team allegedly did something inappropriate to her back in 2015. I immediately addressed this with my editor, and he told me that the matter was settled between him and KP.
Whoa, what's going on here? Is he establishing like some bias KP had against Saberspark? Okay.
I took his word on that and assumed that KP would reach out to me directly if that was not the case. On November 12th, 2024, KP made a tweet where she was upset that Chris was still working on my projects. She then posted, video coming.
So I'm guessing like the editor didn't do something that bad. Either that, okay, I'm not gonna put a lot of stock in Saberspark's judgment, because I think he has fucked up before, like defending Black Griffin. I'm not entirely sure.
Soon.
Like, I had no idea about this drama back from 2023.
January 6th,
I wasn't even covering drama on this level back then.
2025. KP emailed me demanding I take action due to Chris and what she claimed he did nearly 10 years ago due to a leak.
Whoa, what? Whoa, is that legally possible? Wait, okay, so allegedly, his editor did something to KP, but KP's taking action at his boss, Saberspark. What? And after, 10 years, you said?
Call between Chris and KP, they recalled the full story. Chris made a sex joke in regards to KP, and she found out about it many years later. What shocked me was when I was informed.
Are you fucking kidding? Oh my God. Allegedly, this is true, right? From Saberspark's point of view.
This call was recorded without Chris's knowledge or consent. Chris profusely begged for forgiveness at the end of the call, and it looked like both KP and Chris ended on amicable terms, which matches what I was told by Chris when I initially confronted him about the situation.
Yeah, Chris, you want to say anything?
What the fuck is going on?
I guess I'd go.
I'm gonna just check the chapters. It will last for another 4 minutes. I love Kim Possible's video. Brony Fandom harassment. Online. What? Oh, come on. Does he not actually break down the story?
First, yeah.
I want to know his actual angle.
Go for it.
All right. Well, first, I think it's the obvious thing is one, just want to profusely apologize for that terrible fucking thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
And
FYI, in my opinion, never surround yourself with people who will fucking stake you through the ass for a bad sex joke. These people, they are the worst people to be around with. Just saying.
Was an absolute horrible person so many years ago, and you didn't deserve that. So.
All right. So I don't really
That's so bad. All right, whatever.
have anything else that I feel comfortable saying at this point, but I'll just leave with
It was probably a really funny sex joke, in all fairness.
good luck.
I'm not sending bikes, I don't know what it is, but people like this, they blow up proportions to an insane degree.
And may God have mercy on your soul. And this too shall pass. Okay, all those things. So yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, have a good night. And I think I'm going to limit my communication with you for obvious reasons, but
No, that's perfectly reasonable.
She's crazy, actually. I knew she was a bit cuckoo in that video, that incredibly unfunny video. But now she has the audacity to be upset. I mean, she can be upset about a joke because, like, it was 10 years ago that Saberspark said, and now she'll be like, okay, fine, I'll forgive you, but I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then she'll, like, legally threatened Saberspark, his boss. From my understanding, right? I'm guessing she like took action, against him she demanded for him to take action against his editor.
And I
like right now she's being like, okay, I forgive you.
Understand.
It's like a complete, 180.
addition, after listening to this call, it appears KP was asking Chris intrusive questions in order to find more information about me.
So as far as your relationship with Saber, like, is it like, just so I know, is it something? Are you guys like friendly, or is he just give you kind of contract work and that's it?
I mean, I guess you could say it's both, but I don't have like long conversations with him because he's so busy. The most I ever see him is at conventions if he happens to be at the same one.
Okay, so you're not in an environment where this would have come up anyway.
Never.
So he would probably be unaware.
Never. He's 100% unaware. Like, again, I can't stress enough is that in the times I ever told the story, it was, as you described it, locker room talk with a very small amount of people in a private call. I never told it publicly, and I
really could not care about this at all. I'm guessing he's trying to establish, what upset KP against him, like there was like a long running feud that upset her, and this one motivated her to make the video against them.
I never told it to anyone.
But it's so bizarre as well, because from what I remember, right, that video that she made that's now taken down, it was initially made to go after D8 Games, and it was very rushed, to include Saberspark as well.
One light.
So I don't know like what angle this is coming from.
Saberspark.
As far as Chris goes, we took the situation seriously from the very beginning. The joke was inappropriate, but it was told nearly 10 years ago. He profusely apologized to me.
Okay, he stands on business, right? Like he says, it was inappropriate, but it was 10 years ago. Fair enough. Like most people like him would concede, be like, oh, we're so sorry for a joke that I didn't make 10 years ago.
As well, and admitted to his faults. I believe in the inner growth of a person and that they can change for the better. He did good work for the team. I was surprised, though, that KP thought she had the ability to dictate who I hire and fire for my own
That
team.
is insane, actually. What a nutcase.
On February 5th, 2025, KP emailed me again, but this time with false allegations. She claimed that I had, quote, jerked around my employees and generally treated them with very little consideration. She also claimed that I was, quote, hosting polygamous relationships with fangirls, which is as ridiculous.
Oh, shit. Was that like her first mention of the Brony Phantom allegations?
As it sounds. On February 25th,
because that girl in that story was like a fangirl of Saberspark back in 2012, 2013.
25. KP sent her final email to me. In it, she said, quote, to add on to this, I will fight you for the truth. Tone, your whole last email.
Oh, bro, this cannot be serious. She fucking misspelled the question. No, yeah. If you don't hold down shift, it puts on a 1. Or if you misclick the caps lock button. This is a joke.
And the Twitter thread is drenched in, undermines the actual issues of the conversation, on top of assuming I'm going to publish falsifiable information. End quote. However, incorrect information and hearsay was included within the release video. She also stated that the reason she messaged my members of my team instead of contacting me directly was that I, quote, triggered the shit out of her. And at the end of the email, she told me to never contact her again.
Wait, what? Wait, so she threatened fucking Saberspark, and now she'd be like, at the end she would be like, don't talk to me ever. This woman's like complete nuclear.
And following that request, I never contacted.
Wait, sorry, give me a second. Was this Ramses? You bring this upon yourself? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? She put like a fucking quote at the end. This woman is not real. If this is true, actually, I mean, I have no reason to believe, that Saberspark's lying or that he made this up.
Contacted her again. At this point, I was bracing.
Wait, is his name actually Ramses? No, he's a fucking white guy. Of course not Ramses.
Myself for a hit piece video from KP, but I never imagined she would use false sexual assault allegations against me. I also noticed this particular Twitter exchange the day following KP's final email to me.
No, I really want to hear. I think he'll break down what actually happened, right? So, yeah,
Leading up to.
I don't really care about KP. Like, she was, not that good of a narrator for these allegations. I want to hear, him say right there on camera, it was not a violent, sexually abusive relationship, right? It was completely consensual. He'll break it down in this segment.
To the release of KP's video, she was telegraphing her intentions and who they were against. She advertised a video schedule, a watch party, a YouTube premiere, and a slew of other posts in order to build up.
Bro, this woman was hyping up fucking sexual assault allegations. You can't take her seriously, dude.
Hype for her expose. Bernie fandom was involved too, foreshadowing the release of the video on their Twitter.
Also, if you guys check Twitter right now, Bernie fandom fucking abandoned KP. Now they're being like, oh, I cannot believe what happened to KP. What a dumb bitch. It's so funny. Like, they just completely lost connection. Like, she's that crazy. Not even like the other most malicious people online, like Bernie fandom, could stick around with her.
Leading up to the release. According to KP, the anonymous story would be posted on Twitter by Bernie Fandom at 10 a.m., with her video premiere about my false allegations 2 hours later. What was to follow would be a video that was not just tone deaf, but dangerously reckless with the lives of others. KP has gone on record saying that the video was originally intended for DA Games, but included me in the allegations a month prior to the release of the upload. The video itself was titled, What Ruined Saberspark in DA Games, and was over 2 hours long.
Bro, like, she included, again, like, you know, like, this video was so bad, it had like fucking awful YouTube poop comedy bits in it. A video alleging somebody of being sexually assaulting somebody 10 years ago has really unfunny Family Guy bits inserted into them.
It was primarily advertised as breaking the news of my false allegations, but the section in question was only 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. According to this interview,
I didn't know it was that short. Bro, she barely gave a shit. No, I'm sorry. I think she did care, but like, she was so full of herself that she did believe, you know, like, she could tear him down within 5 minutes.
KP, hosted by Slug Entertainment 2, uploaded on May 5th, 2025. KP admits...
I'll speed up the video because like right now I've paused so much that I've doubled the video already by itself. Sorry, guys.
The story she featured was purely hearsay. And
but hopefully you guys can still like understand what he's saying. I mean, you have captions below, so it should be fine.
And no substantiated evidence.
So just to be as objective as possible here. So what you're saying is that basically the evidence that you were given was more personal circumstance and hearsay rather than like objective evidence?
Correct. They didn't have any Skype logs or anything.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't looking for like any more evidence because like I was always looking more at Bernie Fandon than KP because why would you trust her? But even in her own video, even in her own project, she didn't look for any evidence.
Because of how long it was ago, and we did ask.
Oh, but bear in mind, like, you know, I'm not going to fully run defense for Saberspark, but like, I'm just making a point, like, you know, how both parties, specifically, you know, KP's side, is very unhinged, you know, with how little, like, concern they have, how little caution they take into this project,
were there
these allegations.
Other people that went in to verify these claims, or were there other attempts to verify the claims being made?
Not to my knowledge. I believe, I don't know the history of Bonk's relationship with the victim itself. I don't know to what extent he knew about everything before the statement was prepared. But I do know that Amy was vouching for them, and that was also because I knew Amy was on or has been on the convention scenes. That's how she met. Peter knew her husband.
The video would be unlisted and eventually removed from KP's channel the same day of its premiere, following a massive public backlash against it. Apparently, based on the comments in the video, a number of the assets included and voiceover actors involved were allegedly not informed of the nature of the video being made.
That's what fucking Junior King, that legend, that goat, he had no idea about this video. Like, he knew he was like, he did of course do the voiceover, but he had no idea, you know, it was going after DA Games and Saberspark.
Or had their work used without permission for video B-roll and memes. On Twitter, I was ridiculed, with many people calling me a predator. This was due to the initial sensationalized traction of Bernie Fandom's post. But
that's okay. I hate the nature of like this commentary community, right? Because like there were people who would be okay, like let's be super uncharitable to Saberspark, right? Let's say like he really did sexually assault a woman. There would be people who would, you know, fucking hip hip hooray at that story. Why? Because, you know, it means the downfall of Saberspark. That's it. They don't care about, you know, somebody being traumatized, somebody being abused. They could not care any less. All they care about is the guy they have an issue with being torn down. Like, Saberspark, not the cleanest guy. I think he's very questionable But at no point does somebody deserve to be called a rapist, all this shit, over this kind of story.
But then the post...
Over over allegations being propagated by insane people who can do the bare minimum to fully look into it.
itself began to receive pushback due to public scrutiny over the alleged claims. Following KP's video, Bernie fandom began to backpedal, claiming that
I'm sorry, you repeat myself for the 20 fucking time on this channel. I didn't care about these allegations. It didn't sound that bad. I predicted back then, a week ago, there would be simply a relationship that was completely consensual. Regretful, potentially, yes, but not, abusive in any shape or form.
Never watched the video prior to promoting KP's upload. Bernie fandom would eventually throw KP under the bus in order to distance themselves from her video's backlash a few days later. So, what does this mean? As far as Bernie fandom goes, one of two things seem to be true. Either one, they watched the video, approved it, advertised it, and now they're backpedaling because it did not go the way they wanted it to, or two, they never watched the video in the first place, yet they still endorsed it.
True, that's also the case.
Either option is...
That's definitely the case, right? Because as KP said, she rushed the Saberspark section at the last minute.
Reckless, irresponsible, and speaks to a greater problem. By KP's own admissions, she does not like me, and I believe she holds a grudge against me after we had a falling out. Slug Entertainment's interview with her seems...
This is really interesting. So now it's only it's not being handled by a very dumb person, a very unfunny dumb person, but there's a very strong sense of bias in there, which completely compromises, credibility.
To demonstrate her malicious intent. And from the context of her video, it looks like it was done with a desire to use this drama to boost her channel's popularity. It was a hit piece, plain and simple, though she denies having a vendetta against me.
If you were to say that this is something that needs to be taken with the utmost seriousness, despite no evidence, would you believe that it would be fair for people to disregard it entirely due to the lack of actual evidence?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. I wanted to at least ask that, given the fact that these are...
Wait, so why would you waste your time? I don't know. I mean, if that's true, right? If she did spend 5 minutes on that video on Saberspark, I guess no. I think she really did want to be the cherry on top of the video.
Are serious allegations that can get Saber killed because people are crazy, and I'd rather not have someone can get Saber killed.
Nah, okay, this guy's... I think it would get Saberspark deplatformed, potentially. Killed? Get the fuck out of here.
Because people are crazy, and I'd rather not have someone get killed over an allegation that has not been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
His house might get firebombed, but killed? No.
Yeah, that's fair.
At this point in the video, I want to talk about the Twitter account, Bernie Fandom.
Oh boy.
This Twitter account...
Again, we're pretty deep in this video so far, but I haven't seen his actual breakdown of what happened back in 2012.
...has been purposely targeting me.
I said it because it seems like a very simple point. It could take 1 minute to explain it, but he hasn't done that so far.
For a while now. By their own words, they believe that internet justice is more effective than courtroom justice. They seem to see themselves as judge, jury, and executioner, and launch vicious harassment campaigns against multiple online creators, such as Billy Bustup, Prince Whateverer, and Black Griffin.
Oh my god, no. Oh, he heard that. He heard this section. They're doing harassment against Gabriel Brown, Black Griffin. If they're going after Black Griffin, fair enough. That count is crazy, but they have posted some worrying evidence against that guy. If there's one person you could criticize, I'm not sure about harassing, but if there's one person you can criticize, it's definitely Gabriel Brown. So now he's being like, oh, they harassed Black Griffin. How dare they? I can't get behind that. I'm sorry.
Bernie Fandom has on multiple occasions used falsifiable information to attack people with. According to KP's post, Bernie Fandom was in her Discord server, and according to this person, they were allegedly friends. On May 1st, 2025, Bernie Fandom shared KP's false allegations against me. After public backlash for their post, Bernie Fandom was constantly arguing with people in the replies. Some people asked if he suggested professional organizations to the victim prior to reaching out to KP, and he...
The police? Bro, if you gave those allegations to the police, guess what? They would do nothing, because it's not that serious.
He said no. Many were inquiring about rain, and he had no idea what that was. At the time of recording this video, the post is still up on Twitter and has not been corrected, despite being false and unsubstantiated. Finally, I want to bring up Sophie Scruggs. She is a comic artist for IDW, and is on record.
Oh, I think this is the woman that exposed KP as being crazy, actually. I think one of my videos is about her, actually.
Sharing the Bernie Fandom account. She was friends with KP prior to the premiere of the video, and even collaborated on other drama videos with her. She even makes an appearance in said video and talks about KP and Courtney Peets. I believe that Sophie's involvement with the Bernie Fandom account is concerning and irresponsible. She seems to be more of a facilitator of moving parts and frequently replies to the account with her own main accounts. At the very least, we can confirm that she shares the account and has essentially co-signed what it posts.
Wait, what, sorry. Is he claiming that they own Bernie Fandom? That section flew over my head. I'm not going to go back to watch it again because like that's a very minor point.
At this point, I feel like talk about the state of Twitter, but mainly the internet as a whole.
Oh, come on, really? So he prioritizes, KP, KP, her video, Bernie Fandom, and then he doesn't really, please break down the story, please.
I have been on Twitter since 2012, but in early 2020, I noticed that the culture of the website had begun to change. It was more combative and antagonistic, and the website...
Okay, cool, I agree 100%. But what do you believe happened from your point of view back in 2012? I'm not looking for like a gotcha moment. I just want a very simple breakdown of how he believed it was consensual.
That kind of...
I'm not saying I want that answer, but I feel like that would be the easiest answer to give.
Engagement. There has been
it would completely fit in perfectly with the allegations.
Ongoing weaponization of online vigilantism. People who adopt...
This allegation has been propagated by everyone, including myself. I haven't pushed as legitimate, but it's been propagated online with no evidence. It's complete he said, she said. He has every right to the standard of evidence is just complete testimonies. That's it. If you don't have any proof, fair enough, because neither does the victim, the alleged victim.
They shoot first and ask questions.
A simple sentence would be enough to combat those allegations.
Later mentality and the quest to make a name for themselves without doing their due diligence. They would prefer to try to shape the world for what they believe the problem is, rather than actually assisting in the solution. This whole situation is a perfect example of how unqualified strangers can shoehorn their way into extremely delicate situations. Bad faith actors are rewarded for their digital tabloids and hit pieces. Without the right checks and balances, people can destroy lives with a single misinformed tweet. These aren't individuals who care about the well-being of victims, but only engagement and exploitative content. It is important to allow legitimate victims to come forward and be heard.
Now, do I agree? I'm not sure if I agree with this section, right? Because you can't say that Bernie Fandom, they're crazy, right? But at the same time, people have the right to share victims' story if they feel justice should be served. There are 100%, there are bad faith actors all over the world, all over on Twitter, but I'm not sure if Bernie Fandom is the perfect example of them.
But the way the situation was handled was incredibly irresponsible and dangerous. This entire ordeal has been the worst moment of my entire life, and it has done severe damage to me and my family. In regards to my channel...
Oh my god, holy shit. Okay, I think the guy has 2 million subs, right? But bro, the fucking spike right into the ground. Holy shit. Oh my god.
We have lost nearly tens of thousands of subscribers since the release...
To give my own anecdote, right? I saw on TikTok where it was a woman, it was an anime being after I learned about the Saberspark allegations, I'm so sad, and it got 2.2 million likes. So even outside on YouTube, this damage is being carried out, just by via his own name. It's being sullied on multiple platforms apart from YouTube.
And that is with the majority of people watching her video, calling it out for its inaccuracies and its failures. There are independent projects, which I supported in good faith, and made genuine connections with people that have now been ruined because of these false allegations. And I believe that was the overall goal of this calculated attack against my character. Listen, I know that the internet likes to make fun of me, call me cringe, make fun of my videos.
Also, I'm not sure if he explained this right, if I were him, I would bite the bullet and just say, yes, Bernie Fandom went after me because I defended Gabriel Brown, Black Griffin. That would explain, much more how they're very biased. Bro, when I made my first video on him, on these allegations, right? So many people were oh, I don't care if they're false because he defended Black Griffin. If he defended it, I think he did defend them before in the past. That's questionable, right? But in no way, shape or form, right, does that justify having these allegations being twisted as, rape allegations, sexual assault allegations? In no way at all. And so he'd have to bite the bullet, but that would be a very strong piece of evidence of bias within Bernie Fandom.
Totally okay with that. You can make fun of me, but I draw the line at this. I love making videos, and I've been doing it professionally since 2015. I have a family and coworkers who depend on me, and I want to take care of them.
Nah, are you kidding me? Okay.
I'm not the only one who has been affected by these malicious allegations. And while I am disillusioned by these...
You can't really make a response. He might make it in a second, right? But you can't make a response without responding to what actually happened.
Traumatic events.
He hasn't said if they're true or not at all.
I'm also actively exploring legal remedies in light of these false allegations to hold these people accountable for their lies and actions. But there is far...
Okay, these last 2 minutes need to save this video, because so far, this is not a good response.
More beyond just me here.
Okay, come on, please.
Despite the damage against my livelihood and my reputation, I am far more concerned about the reckless nature of internet justice.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care about Twitter, dude. Just save yourself and leave every dumb bastard behind. Care about yourself.
When people take justice into their own
I'm sorry, but like, even this is gay. Internet justice is ruined. We can't trust vigilantes. I don't give a shit about that.
hands for the sake of engagement, clicks, and views, people can get hurt, and it can destroy lives. There are consequences for those actions, and we have to take these matters seriously, or more people will get hurt.
Yeah, I agree. But what happened in 2012 or 2013?
There are actual victims of sexual assault in the world, and stuff like this detracts.
And is that person a victim? I don't care what you say, yes or no. I mean, I would care if you said yes, they are a victim. But like, I just want to get your opinion, your own answer. Do you believe that you did assault them?
From those who really need the help. If you are a victim of sexual assault, there are tools you can use. File a police report. Creating a report is at least a starting point and creates a paper trail that can help others. It helps you to build a record for actual professionals to use for your aid and your own recovery. If you are a victim, I highly suggest going to RAIN.org for additional resources and support. It is a professional organization that assists survivors of sexual assault. There's also the National Sexual Violence
This is very nice, but like, what about your own response?
Resource Center, plus other professional outreach programs and hotlines. We will link these sources and contacts in the description down below. People, we have got to be better than this. Please go to the professionals so you can have the best chance to help yourself. Thank you for watching.
Hey guys, I want you to make my outro now again because I didn't really agree with my overall thoughts at the end. Essentially though, I was wrong to believe that a story did happen in a better context, but I was right in the sense that Saberspark could easily deny the allegations because they never really had any substance in the first place. I will say, however, I'm looking forward to KP and Brony Fandon making a response to this because after all of this, their credibility is just gone now.